Everybody hates Xbox, or at least that's what some people want you to believe. No, I'm not talking about the Xbox tax per se, but I'm just talking about in general. Everybody wants to downplay things when Xbox does anything good. And I think that that is realistically a bit of a shame because, at the end of the day, I feel like, Microsoft has to do probably 2-3 times what a Sony would have to do or what a Nintendo would have to do to get people excited or for whatever reason, And again, I feel like it's really unfair to Microsoft to put that on them. I would love to see, a situation where Microsoft doesn't have all that sort of hate and ignorance on them. And so many people, like, especially when it comes to like Starfield, I think I'll live and die on that hill that Starfield was lower rated than it should have been simply because it wasn't playable on PlayStation. That's sort of an unfortunate truth, but at the same time, when do we ever see the amounts of sheer hate that we got for that game, or people trying to talk about player count on a game that is a single player game? It's really weird to see that. Even now, we're still seeing articles and people do all kinds of things on this game, and oh man, I got bored with it 4 months later. Can you believe that? It's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still getting that. But thankfully, Phil Spencer is putting some of this into perspective. And I tell you what, it sounds pretty cool. And it sounds like Microsoft is rather happy with their idea in the first place to kind of put that out there the way that they did, which again, he calls Starfield a tremendous hit and one of Xbox's top 10 most played games. And he thanks everybody for all the support on Starfield. Starfield is a purely single-player game, but that doesn't seem to be stopping people from playing Bethesda's new RPG for months and months. Speaking in a new interview, Xbox boss Phil Spencer discussed Starfield and how the game's been performing so far. First off, Phil says that the game now has over 12 million players since launch, and he also says that it's remained in the top 10 first-party game in that time frame too. And I quote, Starfield has now had over 12 million players since the launch, and it still sits in our top 10 most played games from our studios. So thank you to everybody for all the support on Starfield and making it a tremendous hit. Now, of course, of those 12 million players will include Xbox Game Pass users, but it's still an impressive number for a title that's only a few months old. More content is on the way too, with Bethesda still putting around 250 employees on Starfield development, while it works away on the game's Shattered Space story expansion. Bethesda Game Studios RPGs are certainly games that stick around for some time. You only have to look at Skyrim and its many releases for evidence of that. In fact, Phil was asked about whether he thinks Starfield will stay relevant for a similar amount of time as Skyrim, and here's what he answers, and I quote, "That's our goal, Skyrim is such an amazing hit from Bethesda Game Studios, and talking to Todd Howard and the team really that's what they wanted to do here. People who love space and space exploration give them that and the same opportunity. So a ton of confidence that for many, many years, Starfield will be sitting very high." However this one pans out, it's nice to see that Starfield is seemingly continuing Bethesda's trend of creating long-lasting experience. Despite the fact that everybody's looking to kind of hate on it or what have you, it is nice to see that there are a lot of people also that are very excited to, play the game and, see kind of what's going on there. For me anyway, I look at it and I go, this game has absolutely drawn me in like no other game. It's my game of the year. I understand that people are going to think that, I'm a fanboy or what have you. But, at the end of the day, I feel like I'm doing, just being myself, being honest about it. Gaming is like that. We're all gamers and we're all kind of looking at sort of this thing that happens with video games, and we're excited about video games. And at the end of the day, I feel like the fact that Starfield has been a success really shows that Microsoft did the right thing with a lot of moves and things like that. Of course, people are going to hate, people are going to do this, or people are going to say that, people are going to say that. And again, guess what? Microsoft is always going to have to answer those questions. Like, listen, and I did a video about this as well. Doing articles like here's a good fine example when people want to go, oh, Xbox tax isn't real. So Bethesda was responding to negative reviews of Starfield on Steam. That made at least 14 to 18 different sites within a couple hours of that being known. The other day, Sony is delisting 1,300 pieces of content where if you bought this content on PlayStation Store and to view, you can't watch it anymore, right? They just stole your content. I saw one article about that, and then finally, days later, there's some other articles trickling out about it. But it's like, why does this stuff take so long for, Sony to kind of get into this situation? But when it comes to Microsoft, it's like everybody wants to talk about, nonsense nonstop. It's like, and then people go, oh, well, the reason why they're talking about, Starfield nonstop is because, at the end of the day, people hyped it up too much. Like, are you kidding me? Nobody hyped up Starfield more than they hyped up The Last of Us Part 2 or Spider-Man Part 2 or God of War Ragnarok or whatever. Like, there was no difference there, right? So, and even if there was, like, what's the fans hyping up a game have to do with, all these sites and stuff running with negative stories about them pointed at the developer? Like, that never made sense to me, that so many people were like, just like want to prove Bethesda wrong or something, and listen, I get it, not every game is for every person, but at the same time I feel like, we do see, I'm not sure. So again, we'll see what happened long term, but anyway, to me, I think Microsoft is starting to finally maybe turn that corner. If we could get some different, a little bit of love maybe from the actual fans and from maybe some of the these gaming sites and things like that, we'll see what happens. I can't wait to see personally what happens, but at the end of the day, Microsoft has a lot to make up for certain people. For me, they've already made up what they needed to, and I would love to see them actually get some actual love for a change. So again, I'm very appreciative of each and every one of you. I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews. I really appreciate it if you guys went out and, check my videos. If you like my videos, please like them as well. And, not only like them, but maybe consider subscribing, because that's always awesome, when you think about it. So thank you guys. I hope you guys all have a great day. Rack them up. Certainly fact them up. And why not go ahead and crap them up if you're going to do that as well, because that would be fantastic. So thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.